In a world where we're never truly disconnected, where messages ping and stories update by the second, we still carry an ancient ache in our chests: loneliness. We're told it's because we need more people, more conversations, more followers. But the truth is, loneliness is not the absence of people. It's the absence of meaning. This idea is not new. In 1946, Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and the father of logotherapy, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Frankl observed that even in concentration camps, those who had a why to live for, some internal compass, some spark of purpose, could endure unimaginable suffering. Meanwhile, many of us today are surrounded by people, notifications, and entertainment, and yet we feel more distant from ourselves than ever. Psychologist Carl Jung called this the modern neurosis, not caused by external lack, but by internal disconnection. He warned, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And so, we scroll, shop, binge, post, not because we're superficial, but because we're searching, grasping for something that will make this moment mean something. In the words of Albert Camus, "In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer." That invincible summer, it is meaning. Think about this. A solitary monk in a mountain temple may feel more fulfilled than someone in a bustling party, not because of solitude or company, but because of alignment, because that monk knows what their silence stands for. The truth is, presence without purpose is noise, and existence without meaning is the real void. That's why loneliness strikes hardest not when we are alone, but when we feel unseen, unfelt, ununderstood, even in the presence of others. So where do we find meaning? The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, believed it comes from living in harmony with our nature, doing what we were born to do, even when no one watches. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." He envisioned life as an art, something we must create, not consume. Even in Eastern philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita teaches, "Set thy heart upon thy work, but never on its reward." Here, meaning is not found in outcomes, but in the devotion we bring to each act. So maybe meaning isn't something grand or distant. Maybe it's stitched into the small, sacred acts we dismiss. Watering a plant, listening without waiting to reply, writing a journal entry no one will read, or simply choosing to stay on days when it would be easier to leave. Loneliness then becomes a signal, not that you are unloved, but that you are disconnected from your own narrative. Ask yourself, what brings you alive, even quietly? What story do you want your days to tell? Are you living out someone else's definition of purpose or your own? When we begin to answer these questions, loneliness transforms. It becomes solitude. And solitude, when infused with meaning, becomes a sanctuary. As poet David Whyte says, "The antidote to loneliness is not togetherness. It is intimacy with things that matter." You can feel this intimacy in the warmth of morning sunlight, in a task done wholeheartedly, in the courage to be honest with yourself. So if you feel lonely today, don't run from it. Sit with it. Let it lead you back to what matters. Not to more noise, but to more truth. Not to a crowd, but to a cause. Not to escape, but to essence. Because meaning isn't found, it's forged by the choices you make, the values you live, and the art you become. And once you begin to live meaningfully, you realize you were never truly alone. You were just waiting for your own soul to come home.